what goes on in primary school through my conversations with different people. Each guest will have the same 3 questions. What are the key things we need to know about the topic? What does that look like for students? And what might parents notice? Tune in each week, the link from the e-brief, and let the learning begin. I am so excited this week to have Ian Deeth, who's the head of primary activities, with us today. And Ian will be talking about, surprise, surprise, pursuing your passions. But before we get started on our 3 questions, Ian, tell us a little bit about your journey to UWC SEA.
Well, coming to the end of my 18th year now of full-time teaching. After I graduated from university, I did take a couple of years out to try and pursue my passion, my dream of becoming a full-time athlete, and I didn't quite reach exactly where I wanted to get to, but I did enjoy that process of the journey. Running 400 metres, I did represent Scotland and Great Britain under 23 level, and during that time actually I was teaching part-time as a secondary PE teacher at Portland Place School, which is just off Oxford Street in central London. Went on then to complete my PGCE at Winchester King Alfred's College, loved that, and then went to teach in Southampton, a school called Abbotswood Junior School, which was actually the school I attended as a pupil, and absolutely loved my experience there. 6 years teaching there before moving to my first international post in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia at Garden International School. 6 years there also, and now I'm at the end of my 6th year at UWC East Campus, so still going to be here next year and for the foreseeable future, so this will officially be the longest time I have ever been in a school. My roles have changed from classroom teacher to head of grade to head of PE to whole school athletics director, and now I'm currently in the role of head of primary activities, with the occasional teaching in the classroom as well.
Wow, I love to find out different things. So you started with secondary teaching, so really interesting. Now we're going to go on to our first question, Ian, and that is about pursuing your passions. What are the key areas and the key things we need to know about this topic? Over to you.
So the brilliant thing that attracted me towards UWC is actually activities are seen as one of the 5 learning elements. So sometimes an activity at another school may be seen as extracurricular, but here at UWC they are a key aspect of our learning programme. And we kind of have this saying with activities, it's a great opportunity for students to explore new interests, develop their strengths, and of course pursue their passions. And in the primary school there's definitely more of a focus on the first of these, which is very much exploring new interests, because to find out what you're passionate about you need to really try lots and lots of different things.
I agree completely. I think we're really lucky in the primary to be able to offer such a wide range of activities, so they don't know that it's going to be a passion until they try chess maybe and then absolutely love it, or swimming, or some sort of craft. So I think we're really lucky to give them that really broad programme, so they get to try all sorts of different things, and definitely we encourage parents to help their children to choose really a wide range of things.
Absolutely.
So with that pursuing your passions and the programme we offer, what does this look like for our students?
So for students we try to provide first of all a wide variety of choices across a wide range of different areas, including sport, the arts and clubs such as debating, chess. We have our own categories which focus not just on the skills of that particular area, but also the skills and qualities that are very much part of our learning programme as well. Now our activities, they're run by staff, but also they're run by high quality external providers, both on campus and pre-COVID times off campus as well, which we're looking forward to getting back to at some stage. And the beauty of the programme is that these choices are largely driven by the students. They have a lot of agency over the say of what they do. Now, with the younger students, yes, the parents are going to help with those choices, and we're going to look in the future to put on some more parent workshops to help guide their children towards a wider variety of choice. But with this agency, we find that the students really are committing themselves to something that they really want to do, and maybe at the end of the season they found their new passion, but maybe they haven't, and that's absolutely fine. That's very much part of this journey as well.
it's really interesting because we're in report writing season, and I have the pleasure of reading the reports, and to see how wide the choices are some students have made is really, really exciting when the choices are so different. And I think really as well to emphasise what you said there about actually it should be the student's choice, and that's even with our younger children.
Yep.
They really need to have their voice heard and let them try those things, even if you think, no, they'll never enjoy that. We don't know until
Absolutely.
we try.
And we're trying to make more of a visual element to the module as well. So our younger students, when they're looking online with their parents at the activities they might choose, rather than it just being a wordy description, we're looking to add more videos, more photographs, so they can really visually see what these activities look like on our school campus.
And maybe you can use some of the photographs that have been added to the mural as people are engaging in activities at home at the moment, which is really lovely to see.
Yeah, it's been amazing. That has been a huge success of students sharing what they're doing outside of school during these times. It's been amazing.
So with that programme we have and pursuing your passions, what might parents notice?
Okay, so parents are going to notice that some students take more to some activities than others. It might be to do with the activity itself, but this can also be linked to whether their friends are involved, or it could be down to the coach or whoever is facilitating that particular activity. But regardless, going back to kind of the key message again, we encourage students in a primary school really to mix it up as much as possible so that when they reach the middle school, they've got more of an idea where their passions lie and the areas they might want to start specialising in more. But I guess on the side note of that, it's also important to know that our passions do change as we get older, and something we may not have liked when we were younger may actually become a passion more when we become older. And yeah, I think another good point really to look at as well is, let's say for infant level in a sport, you might have a focus on multi-sports, gymnastics, or learn to swim. These will lay a perfect foundation at the right level for the students at that particular time. But later on down the line, that multi-sports might turn into a specific sport, or gymnastics may lay the foundation for parkour very much later in life, or for learn to swim. That might be the foundation not just for swimming, but for something like surfing, stand-up paddling, life surf rescue. So a lot of the sports that we look at will lay foundations for particular activities and passions that might come later on down the road as well.
And it's interesting, there's a lot of research around that actually some of the top athletes didn't specialise until much later. They weren't these prodigies from 3 years old. It was much later when they took to that sport. And that quite often is because they had tried lots of things and actually had a variety of skills that helped in whatever sport or area they decided to specialise in.
Yeah, I think from reading biographies, looking at people's origin journeys, I host my own podcast myself, which is Unlocking Athletic Potential.
I was going to say, do a plug.
Little plug there. Very much one of the questions I ask is, how did you find your passion? How did you find this particular sport? And it is through that wide variety of choice. They find out what they don't like, they find out what they do like, and that kind of those polar opposites make them appreciate when they do find that passion that even bit more. So yeah, variety is the key, certainly within these primary years.
And I'm really pleased to say that the backing music for this Patter with Pauline podcast, the theme tune, came out of one of our activities, the name of which was?
It was beatboxing and rapping activity.
So beatboxing and rapping. So Yumi, who is a grade 2 student, this was her creation from that, and I love it, and we use it as the backing tune and the theme tune for Patter with Pauline podcast. So can I say I've really enjoyed speaking with you today, Ian. It's been
Pleasure.
Great, and I think activities, like you say, because it is one of our 5 elements, it has exactly the same value as any other of our elements and is so key. And our students are really, really fortunate to have the choices they do. So thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed, and you did get the plug there for Unlocking Athletic Potential. Look that podcast up as well. Some fantastic guests on there.
Yeah, we've had Lee McDermott from our gymnastics department.
So
He's
even
a guest
some
on there
local
as well, yeah.
people. I don't know why I haven't been asked on as a former netballer for just my school, really. Anyway.
It's coming.
So tune in next week for Patter with Pauline podcast. Thank you very much.